Welcome to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. I'm Diana.
And I'm Liz.
And we're going to talk about season 12, episode 12, Stuck in the Middle with You.
Stuck in the middle. Yep. Right in the head. There we go.
Yep. I know. I'm like, fuck. There it goes. What have you been up to?
So I binge watched first I binge listened to The Curse of America's Next Top Model, and then I binge watched the new Netflix documentary on Next Top Model. So that has been taking at my pop culture sphere for the past week. Well, I was really anticipating that the Netflix special coming out, so I wanted to listen to the podcast first, and the podcast had things that they didn't talk about in the special. So I feel like I would honestly recommend that people do that. I would say if you really want to deep dive this shit, go listen to The Curse of America's Next Top Model first, and then watch the Netflix series, because then you'll be like, why didn't Tyra talk about that? What the fuck? And I really have my opinion of Tyra is not
good.
I don't know. It makes you have some feelings, especially the way she treated the Jays. I have some feelings about that. And Miss J had a stroke, and that was very upsetting. As a thing to watch on television, I would recommend it. Okay. And I don't recommend that. I don't recommend things lightly. I think it also, if you watched America's Next Top Model. If you did not watch America's Next Top Model, I don't know if it's for you.
Yeah.
It may not resonate as much, but what?
I never got into it.
It's very much of my generation. It's very much a Generation X thing. And so, there was
aware of it. I just never got into it.
Yeah, and then thinking about how much it shaped the culture and the things that were around me, and probably my eating disorders, there's a whole bunch of things you're like, oh yeah, that was fucked up. And then oh yeah, I can't believe they did that. So I still think it's enjoyable if you didn't watch, and maybe that makes you go back and watch some of the cycles too. I would say watch some of the cycles, but I know they're going to do a cycle 25. That's the whole reason that Tyra did that, is because she wants to do one. So I know they're going to come out with it. So that's what's been on my mind this week. Well, that's at least been my distraction.
Something. Yeah, I'm in Love is Blind season because they just dropped, the new season just dropped. So that's where I'm at on my weird reality TV culture thing. But yeah.
See, I'm watching things about reality TV.
That's fair.
That's how meta I am. No, I am past the reality TV. I need to watch the things that are about the reality TV.
Fair enough. Exciting.
And what about you, besides Love is Blind?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've been busy. I don't know. So I went and saw some bands last week. I saw Desi Five and Angel White at this really cute small venue called Firehouse Gastropub in Grand Prairie, and then went to 214 Day in downtown Dallas, which was clearly Valentine's, but Dallas is celebrating 214 Day. Anyways, it was pretty. That was in the AT&T Discovery Green Park downtown, which is kind of cool place. When you're exploring spot in your city that you've never been, I was like, oh, I've never come here. This is kind of neat. Okay, and then what else? I feel like I've been busy with all kinds of things. Oh, I went and had a good mall day, did some shopping. I then went to Houston and saw a show at Stephen Wilson Jr. and Shelby Stone at White Oak Music Hall. And now I'm tired.
Yeah, that does sound like
a lot of things.
That sounds like a lot of things that are very exhausting.
Yes, they are.
All crammed into one thing.
All crammed into a short period of time. But yeah, so, it'll be fine.
Very cool. So that's exciting, and hopefully you'll get some rest and not be so tired. I don't know. Someday. You're not tired, but
I'm icing and elevating my knee still, so I'm still making that happen. Here we go.
Cool. So let's talk about this episode. There's nothing to talk about in terms of Jensen or Jared. Oh, there is?
Jared did. So Jared posted something about...
Did I miss it? Damn it.
He posted on his Instagram. But it's super subtle. And it's just oh, it's been a crazy month. We're back to things or whatever. It's super subtle and vague. But he doesn't address how he broke his leg still. But he did post.
Oh, okay.
Things being weird, but he didn't answer any questions.
Oh, so it's just being weird. So being weird being that you broke it dancing at an EDM festival.
Yes.
I will continue to perpetuate that rumor until you come on the show and prove me wrong. Okay, so this episode, speaking of, it is a reference to that song, which is by the band Steelers Wheel, and it is most famous, and this is on the Supernatural wiki, it is most famous for its use in Quentin Tarantino's first feature film, Reservoir Dogs. The episode, and this is true, also pays homage to Tarantino through the use of non-linear storytelling and the use of title cards in the scene transition. And this was season 12, episode 12. I love a 12-12. It first aired February 16th, 2017. Oh, back when we were so young. And was directed by Richard Speight Jr. Gabriel, the man that you can see me canoodling with on a couch, but hanging out with on a couch on a boat. So you can look at our pictures and see that. So we last saw him direct season 11's episode 8, Just My Imagination. And this was written by Davy Perez. And speaking of things that get stuck in my head, he last wrote for this season, episode 4, American Nightmare. And now cue that song stuck in my head. All right. So in our recap, we've got Arthur Ketch, British men of letters. British men of letters trying to kill people. They have toys. They have some other weapons. Lucifer being exorcised. Kelly Klein, Mary being pitched the men of letters bullshit.
Yeah. That's where we got that.
And we start off with Mr. Ketch annoyingly fixing his coffee.
Or tea, I'm guessing. I don't know.
Whatever.
Because he's British. Is that rude? I don't know.
Some British people drink coffee.
Fair enough. Okay. And he says, "Tell me a story." And we get our first card.
And that says it's 5:20 p.m. And so now we go, okay, we should probably pay attention to time. We don't realize how much and how annoying it's going to be. But yes, it's 5:20. And Dean has a menu and he's trying to flirt with a waitress and he is denied.
Denied. Yeah. So it's Sam, Dean, Castiel, and Mary are at this diner with Wally, who we met before briefly when he got the pitch from the British men of letters.
Right. And he told basically to lick his ass. And I don't think he used those words, but it was something similar. And so the Wi-Fi password is extra cheese. I don't know why I have that written down. I just thought it was funny.
I appreciate it because it's also really confusing because they're trying to place their order and they're like extra cheese and they're like, wait, what? No. And she's like, no, that's the password. It's a cute exchange. Gold star. But the waitress totally rejects Dean, but is all about Cass, which was cute. So, and Dean's all excited because he's going to make this a teachable moment. But either way, Mary gets a phone call and she says it's from a hunter that needs help. And while that's happening, Sam's talking about how he's downloading all the bunker files on the diner through the diner's Wi-Fi, but their Wi-Fi sucks. And I'm like,
yeah, so
what are you trying to do, sir?
Yeah, so he has, once again, they've taken all the files in the bunker and they've made he's put them onto a server. And so now he's trying to connect to that server. And then I'm like, I bet he made the logger like Hunter admin. And then that's just a nerd joke. So, and then I'm like, but then I could just like hack into the bunker and see all the files that are on that server because he's not protecting it. Anyway. So, he can't get into it because the Wi-Fi isn't great. So Dean, like you said, is trying to make a teachable moment and give Cass some lowdown about waitresses. And they start on this thing about the upside of waitresses is they always smell like food.
Yeah. And Wally was into that too. And then they're all like, but Sam's like, that's a good thing? Like, wait, what? Yeah, I'm with you, Sam, a little bit. I'm sorry. No offense, Mandy, the waitress.
Yeah, and then Mary just has enough of their shit. It's enough.
Yeah, we are going to go find this demon that's night fishing demon. That's what we're after, is this night fishing demon.
It looks like lovely night fishing.
Yeah. And apparently, and Wally's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not good with demons. If you've got a Rougarou, I'm in. But I found all these cattle mutilations and missing virgins, and Mary's got a plan.
Okay, that I did think this was a cute exchange that I wanted to know. So when they were talking about the cattle mutilation signs, and Sam said it was classic demon signs, and then he noticed missing versions, and then Dean said that was classic horny demon sign. I thought that was really cute.
Classic horny demons.
Classic horny demon sign. Classic horny
Mhm.
demon is the name of my next sex tape.
Yeah.
I couldn't know that should be album or sex tape, but I think
Pick
sex
one.
tape.
Sex tape. I agree. So the waitress comes back, and Dean is really trying to set this flirt up with Castiel. Wally's super fucking nervous though about the whole plan. He's like kind of trying to like act like, he's acting very concerned, and Mary's trying to reassure him. And we have Walk with a Winner by Crescendos by Jean McDaniels at this point.
Yeah, and our waitress is also into, like, not only is she into cash, she's into being dirty. And so she's kind of like, we can kind of tell that she's a little.
We cut. We
Yeah,
cut.
Mary says, yeah, Mary tells him everything, tells Wally everything will be fine. And we immediately cut to things not being fine.
Not fine at all. Mary is basically half carrying a very injured Castiel who is bleeding from his guts. And Wally is fighting a demon. Sam's fighting another demon and kills it. And then a demon kills Wally.
No, so we already know the beginning of this that Wally's not going to make it. So someone has fallen to the Winchester curse, right. And don't go hunting with the Winchesters. No. And so this demon also thinks she's going to be the one who killed Sam Winchester, but no, she's not, because Dean kills her with the demon knife.
Yes. So, and then we get another title card of The Wounded Angel.
The Wounded Angel.
And we see Castiel sitting in his pickup truck listening to a preacher on the radio. Sam and Dean pull up, and so it's just as earlier.
Yeah, so it's earlier, and this is when you start going, oh, what? She's just like,
time jumps. The time
jumps are going to like make your brain. It made my brain a little melty, yes. And I get it. Like once you do the Reservoir Dog thing, it helps.
It's cool, yeah, it works. It's just like when you don't know that that's what's happening, it takes in a short format like this. It's a lot to.
Yeah, it's a little just like, oh, okay, so we're back, but we're earlier, okay. And so Sam and Dean are meeting up with Mary and Wally. Cash shows up because he's not busy. He hasn't had any luck with Kelly Klein and Lucifer's kid. And Wally is just like, what? That's a joke, right? And nobody's laughing because they're really doing this on the show. So that's something that is happening. Yes, it is a storyline. Then they all walk down the street with thematic music playing.
Yes, it's led by Dean saying, all right, ramblers, let's get rambling. Which is always a fun thing to have an excuse to say. So Mary's outlining the plan. That's what we next cut to. It's 8:45. The demon comes home, and Sam and Dean will be waiting with devil's trap bullets and demon blade. And then Cass and Mary are going to wait out back, and then Wally's going to be lookout. And his instructions are don't die.
And can't you follow the directions? All right. So once again, Mary says everything is going to be fine. And we cut to things are actually they're sort of fine at this point. Yeah. Cass is outside watching while Sam spray paints a devil's trap
under the carpet. But like Dean's sitting there like loading his magazine there. Like, why were you not prepared? Why are you sitting doing that there?
Why are you waiting until now to load this magazine? So Cass comes in, and Mary is coming from somewhere, right?
Yeah, she comes in through a door, and she says that she was in the restroom because she's nervous or something.
She's just nervous, and Cass is like, yeah, I understand about urination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Wally is calling Mary because the demon has returned from his fishing early. And we see feet walking and hear whistling. And so that's our sign that our demon is returning, basically, is the whistling and the walking.
Why do so many demons whistle?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. So they just want to show off how lackadaisical they are. I don't know.
I'm just gonna show off that they can whistle because whistling's not everybody. Like sometimes I
I'm
can't
not a
whistle
good
that
whistler.
well. I mean, I'm like
I'm
I'm an
barely a
okay.
whistler.
Yeah. So Cass whips his blade down his arm.
Yeah, he's ready. And Mary's got her pistol, and Sam and Dean get ready, and the demon comes up the steps whistling, and he opens the door, and Dean just starts fucking unloading in him, like shooting him with all the devil's trap bullets. And nothing happens. And he
just keeps
keeps
coming.
walking, and he kicks back the carpet, sees the devil's trap, laughs at it basically. He's like, oh, hunters. And Dean just unloads the magazine in him, and nothing, he just keeps walking. Sam jumps in and stabs him with the demon knife. Nothing happens, and he gets thrown.
Yeah, it's just all it's all very ineffective. Nothing is working on this. And then he sees Cass and he gets really mad that there's an angel there.
Mm-hmm. And then he sees Mary and says, sweetheart, and his eyes flash yellow.
We have a yellow eyes, which is like very traumatic for Mary. Cass tackles him though. And then outside, Wally comes running up to tell them that the demons are coming. The demons are coming.
Yeah. So Castiel's thrown out a window. Sam and Dean go out front to help Wally with these demons, and they all start fighting the demons out front. But then our yellow-eyed demon, our new one.
Yeah, who we learn is Ramiel.
Yes.
Has Cass in the backyard, and he pulls a fucking giant lance from his back.
Yeah, and magical hidden lance of some kind.
And yeah, there's just like he's like just there in his coat pocket in his back, and he's just like, "Choom! Here's my giant lance." And then as Wally's dying, now Cass is getting stabbed in the ribs, and we're just like, "This is not go." I'm very stressed out.
It is very distressing. This whole sequence is very stressful.
It's very stressful, and it also the way they you know, like because of the back and forth, like you kind of get calm and then you get stressed out again. So, and he's like going after Cass with the lance until he gets hit by a car that Mary's driving.
Yeah, Mary just fucking like wrecks him with her Jeep. It's pretty hilarious. So, but she loads Castiel in and like drives him to like this barn, and there he shares that he is unable to heal himself. So Sam and Dean call Mary and they're like, where are you? And she's like, hey, you need to find us because things are not fucking okay.
This is before we could drop a pin.
And then we get a 9:05 p.m. And Sam and Dean get to the barn and Mary asks about Wally.
So, and I think I also get annoyed when the time comes up and it's a linear time and it's not like, why are you telling, like, we didn't change time.
I understand time is happening.
This just happened. What the, why are you telling me this now? Like, so now I'm like, wait, did we go backwards? I had to like, at least I had notes. Like, I can't like watching this in real time without notes.
Right?
So, okay, so they're at the barn and they tell Mary without telling her about Wally is dead.
Yeah. And then they realize that Cass is fucked up, like hurt. And so they look pretty freaked out. And Sam's like, hey, Mom, what is happening? And she's like, he has yellow eyes. And he's like, what did you get us into? And then we get another cue card of Mother Mary, 11 hours ago, 10:07 a.m.
So at least we're going backwards this time. But Mother Mary is also a reference to the lyric in the Beatles song, Let It Be, and the username that Mary uses when she plays Words with Friends with Dean.
It is. Yeah. So we've got our new yellow-eyed demon, Ramiel, walks out his front door, and Mary and Wally are doing surveillance on him. And Wally is like, look, why are we watching this old dude for? Is he really like some big bad demon? And she's like, look, I called you because because I can get Sam and Dean to help if you're involved. They not for me. They'll ask too many of the wrong questions if it's just for me. Super sus, Mary. Super fucking sus. Super not cool sus.
So she's having Wally lie. And she's also been talking to the British men of letters, and she's got a file. And in the file, there is some detailed stuff. There is a lake house plan in it. And Wally explains to her, but yeah, I heard the sales pitch and I didn't fucking buy it. And then we learn what she's been doing.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, it's too good to be true. And she's like, well, maybe, but they've taken me to help me take out, 12 vamp nests, all these wolf packs, a ghoul.
Dozen vamp nests. So, like, saying that vampires have at least, like, think of how many vampires are in a nest. That's like
A lot of
killing, like, at
vampires.
least 60 vampires, probably. Like, that's a lot of, like, machete headings. And then 4 werewolf packs and a ghoul. Like, that's a lot of murder.
A
Or,
lot.
I
For
mean,
Mary on her own.
yeah, that's a
With,
lot of
yeah,
destruction.
it's a little wild. But she won't answer Wally when he asks if she trusts them, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, also the ghoul was eating its way through Arlington, but it was unclear if that was Texas or Virginia.
Fair. I assumed Virginia in my head for some reason, but you're right. It could be either one.
It could be either one. All right. So she doesn't answer about trusting them. And we're going to go back to the diner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's where, Wally's asking just generally about the British men of letters. And Dean's like, yeah, they've got the good gear and all, but they tried to kill Sam and us. So, no.
So, no, don't trust them. They set his feet on fire. Once you set my feet on fire, I'm pretty much not going to work with you. That's a deal breaker.
Not friends.
We're not friends. No. So
8:23 p.m. And
because everything is going to be fine. Because Mary says everything's going to be fine. And once again, we're going to go to where it's not going to be fine. So 8:23 p.m. They're coming up to Ramiel's house, and Cass says that it doesn't appear to be warded,
which
and
is
they split off. Yes.
But so inside. Sam talks to Mary, and he's like, "Are you okay? Like, what's happening? And she's like, he's like, you didn't even want to be a hunter. And she's like, yeah, since when is life getting what you want?
And that's just really kind of a bummer, Mary.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And then she goes off on her own while Sam makes her devil's trap. Now we find out where she went earlier, and it was not the bathroom. You use pee in a bad way, Mary. Middle-aged women shouldn't lie about peeing, and that karma's gonna bite you in the vag. All right. She went to the basement, not the bathroom.
Is fancy. This is a fancy ass basement. What the hell?
With a pretty epic painting.
With epic paintings and
all these really cool shit. Like, I want to hang out in this. This house, honestly, I would like this house. It's got like a nice place to fish. Like, it seems pretty quiet. Like, it seems like a cool place. But so we've got a safe, and so she's got this magic device to open it, which apparently she's gotten from British Men of Letters, and it's pretty cool. It's another little magic egg. They're really into magic eggs, and so, but she takes the box out of the safe, and when she opens it, it glows, a la many movies.
Ooh, yeah. And like, anyways, but so she, whatever it is, she wraps it up and she puts it in her
pants. It's this thing that's magical and glowy, and so probably radioactive. I'm just gonna shove it up my ass crack. That seems like a good place.
I mean, they put guns there all the time. It's fine.
Yeah, this is how Mary gets rectal cancer.
Oh no!
Oh, too soon. All right. Yes. So she does put the box of the painting back. So, and so we go back to the scene earlier where she's first lying about pee. And again, I'm just upset about her pee karma. And so
you're very upset about the pee karma. I know.
Like, for someone who had to have bladder surgery and very much respects the fact that our bladders are not things to lie about. They are secret. So, and I was like, so next time that she starts peeing when she sneezes, like whenever she shoots, she's going to have to like pee just a little. That's what's going to happen to her. She's going to pull the trigger, and then when she gets a kickback, just a little dribble of pee. All right. So that happens, and then Cass gets stabbed.
Yeah, we watched the scene. We watched the scene again about our Ramiel not being injured, and then Cass gets stabbed. So 9:03 p.m. Okay, so 9:03 p.m. we show Mary bandaging Cass at the barn, and she has a text chain named Hobbits.
Yeah. And she's really using I know, like, to advance. This is a fucking full-on smartphone. She's using a screen to text, and she's just like, "What the fuck? What's this demon with the yellow eyes bullshit?"
And they're like, "Oopsies, bad intel. He's gonna find you. Gotta go." Really?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks. And Cass is just grinning, meh, meh, and then the boys come in, where Dean tells Cass he looks like hammered crap, and Cass is like, "Look at my veiny belly, look at it."
Is it veiny or does it look like it's shattering? I thought it looked like it was like stone cracking. It was real gross and weird either way. I don't know. It has weird black lines. That's all I know. And he's like, I think I'm dying. And Dean's like, nope, 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 not doing that. So he's like, hey, Sam, you've got to check this shit out. And then as they're doing that, we hear a voice.
Call them idiots.
Mm-hmm. It says you're all going to die. And it's Crowley. Crowley's there.
Aw, hi, Crowley.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that Mary and Crowley meet up, and it's very cordial and cute. And then Crowley wants to know what's up with Feathers. But now we learn whose demons those were. And those were Crowley's demons. They're the ones who killed Wally.
That's sad. And Mary's like, they killed my friend. And Crowley's like, well, your friend was stupid. So do you have any idea what you've done? You have pissed off Ramiel. Because, and Cass is like, I know that name. He's a prince of hell. And we're like, wait, what? Ruh-roh. And he's like, yeah, he's going to kill all y'all. And Cass is like, I thought all the princes were dead. And they're the oldest of all demons after Lilith. And they were trained by Lucifer to be leaders of demons in armies in the war against heaven.
Yeah, and so they were Azazel. So Azazel, old Yi, was a prince of hell, and they just made everybody think they were dead. And we get a flashback to 6 years ago. And we're like, oh, yeah, 6 years ago, the show was still on. Yeah. So, because we're in season 12. So, but now we're getting a fun backstory of something that happened. I do like this part of the episode. So, we're going back in time to something in canon. And we're at Ramiel's house. And Crowley has showed up with the demon that we saw from earlier. And she's there and she's holding a spear. And we get another card. And this card says Mr. Crowley.
Mr. Crowley. Yeah, and he introduces himself as the King of the Crossroads.
Aww.
It was before he was King of Hell. So he's been sent by Hell with a gift on behalf of all demons, and also.
What do you think King of the Crossroads was? Is that just something that Crowley made up? Do you think there was ever like a King of the Crossroads position?
I'm sure he just made himself the head of the Crossroads demons, and then he called himself a king of them.
I know. And I hadn't thought about that until I was just like, wait a minute. Like, where the hell did King of the Crossroads even come from? That's so funny. All right. So he's giving him his gifts.
Yeah. And the gift from all the demons is the Lance of Michael, the Archangel. And then also he knows that Ramiel's really into ancient and archaic weapons. So he gives him another little gift that's the glowing thing in the box that we don't see. But they're talking about the spear, how it kills the bad ones fast and the good ones slow and painful, which is ironic because it was made by an angel. And they're like, well, it was only made for one angel that Michael wanted to kill.
And he wanted that son of a bitch to suffer. So, and that implies Lucifer. So. And then he gives him his second gift, and it's a personal gift from Crowley. And apparently someone just left it laying about, and you should consider it your coronation present.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, look, with Lilith and Azazel dead, we need a ruler, and you're next in line. Ta-da! And he's like, yeah, I don't want it. You take it. You're ambitious and conniving and slimy. It's yours. You should be king. And Crowley's like, one dares to dream, but aren't there other princes? And Ramiel's like, yeah, Azazel was a fanatic. The rest of us stopped caring a long time ago. We've got hobbies or toys. We're happy.
Yeah, so we learned there's another one named Asmodeus, and there's Dagon. And I'm not just saying, maybe I'm spoiling some, maybe you should know those names. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. So they were happy doing what they were doing. And then like Crowley's being so no, that the minion almost gets a chance at the throne. Mm-hmm. But then Crowley's like, no, I'll take it.
Yeah, and what's the price? And Ramiel's, the price is just to leave us alone.
Yes.
The prince is alone. And if anyone bothers a prince, it's on you, Crowley. and we'll be pissed.
So that's why the demons were there. They were there to keep people away from Ramiel. And so now we know why, they just were just hanging around. So Crowley then informs them that I think we're back. I'm looking at my notes. I think we're back. Yeah. So Crowley informs the boys of Mary that what Cass has got stabbed with, and that it's Michael, as in Michael.
Yeah. And it kills everything. It's going to kill him. That's all there is to it. And it's going to kill him slowly. He's going to rot away. That's it.
And Dean's just like, there's always a cure. And Sam's on board because, duh, we took down the darkness and we took down the devil. And none of these things have ended well, guys. All of those things have had really bad consequences that we're still dealing with. But anyhow, so Crowley says they don't have the time to learn to manage Ramiel. Dean yells, help us or get the hell out of here. And Crowley's like, fine, and yeets.
Yeets out of there. Bye. So it's 9:07 p.m. So it's only been a few minutes, I think, since our last card. Anyways, and we see Ramiel walking and whistling towards the barn they're in. So Sam's spreading their artisanal holy oil. Mary's got an angel blade. Dean's got the magic knuckles, courtesy of the British Men of Letters, as he approaches. And we see Crowley intervene with Ramiel outside. And he's like, what can I do to keep you out of that barn? And he's like, and Ramiel's like, I smell that angel rotting. Are these people your friends? He's like, Crowley's like, I don't have friends. I make deals with people that I can use because every kingdom needs allies. So,
and that they're an asset that he can't afford to lose. And Ramiel is just really mad that he broke the deal and he is just not interested in making another and throws his ass into the barn.
Yeah, just throws him through the wall. And so we get another card for a real barn burner. And we've got we cut back to Dean yelling at Crowley before he disappeared on them. And then it's 9:12 p.m. and we see Castiel struggling as the black marks or crackly marks or his veins or whatever the fuck it is extend over him. And he's like, y'all should leave. And so he gives a speech.
It's very moving, and you're the best part of my life. Things have changed since you've changed him. You're my family, and I love you. And it's very, very touching. And he wants him to not have his last moments being watched him die. Right. But we don't leave family behind. And they call Mary over, and their plan is just to hit him with everything they've got. First, he's in a ring of artisanal oil.
Sure. And Sam drops the lighter as Ramiel enters. We flash forward a little bit, and it circles Ramiel, and he thinks it's funny.
He gives no fucks. He is the honey badger of princes of hell. He does not care about Lucifer's babies, but he does make an interesting side note that Dagon has taken an interest in that. I'm like, that's an interesting thing that you said. But he just wanted to be left alone. And then you come and steal from me, and that I can't abide. What? You stole? What? And he pulls out, what? I don't know. And he pulls out this pocket watch. It's really cool. And he is like, you got 30 seconds, click. And I'm like, what the hell is this watch? I want it. And he clicks it and it's 30 seconds start to give him back what's his. And Dean's just like, what?
Yeah. He's like, what? I have no idea. And time ends on that because Mary does not confess to stealing shit. And so Ramiel pulls out his giant lance again.
And it puts out the fire as he smacks it in the ground and causes a small earthquake.
Yeah.
And he's going to beat him with a stick. And Dean's going to be like, I've got a shovel.
Yeah, there's a big fight. It's a pretty impressive fight scene. But somehow Sam gets the lance in this fight scene and stabs Ramiel.
Yep.
And at first, nothing happens. And we're all like, oh, shit.
No, nothing happens, and Cass is vomiting up his insides. It's not gonna be great.
Black. It's gross, yeah.
But then Crowley picks up the lance, and he remembers what Ramiel was saying about the rune work on it, and he breaks the lance in half, and a light glows, and Cass is saved because the magic is in the craftsmanship. Then Crowley drops the lance, and with the "You're welcome," and yeets again.
Yeah. So Sam and Dean help Castiel up, and everybody's just like shocked that he's like perfectly. He's like not just like, oh, he's not dying. He's like fully healed back to full, normal, healthy Castiel. But Castiel is asking the question we're all asking, which is, what did Ramiel mean about someone stealing from him? Mary? Mary.
You look shifty there, Mary. What's going on?
Sus. And Dean's like, oh, whenever he's crazy, blah. But no. I'm like, why are you giving this a pass, Dean? Come on now.
I was very impressed that they took the parts of the lance with them and didn't leave them there.
That's true. Very, very true. So we get another card, one last thing. And
we're back to Mr. Ketch, and we're back to British men of letters. So one last thing about British men of letters. And so we're going to do some lore. One last thing about before we get to the Order of the Golden Dawn. And I promise we will get to that damn secret society. We really will. But I've got to talk about another secret society before we get to that secret society. So this lore is about the Rosicrucians. Dun, dun, dun. Have you ever heard of the Rosicrucians? They still exist. Word, yeah. They could be running our government. Okay. Probably. Cool. The Rosicrucians all started in the 1600s. And once again, I'm going to give you the breakdown as best I understand this group and how they're made up. And because they are going to influence the Order of the Golden Dawn. They're still around. They have influenced things. It's people dressing up in outfits, doing rituals, and there wasn't as much scandal as I hoped there was going to be. But also make this as interesting as possible, because it's still a secret society, right? So that all started in the 1600s when 3 books, or more accurately pamphlets, were published in Germany. The first in 1614, a book called Fama Fraternitatis Rosea Crucis. So the fame of the Brotherhood of the Rosy Cross came out after being circulated among German occultists for a few years. In it is the story of a 14th century orphan named Father CRC, like the initials, who at the age of 16, after first being raised in a monastery, traveled to the Middle East and North Africa and studied esoteric knowledge, including physics, mathematics, magic, and Kabbalah. Upon his return to Germany, he founded the Fraternity of the Rosy Cross to share this knowledge with only 8 members initially. All of these men were unmarried and virgins. I think the virginity was coincidental and not conditional, but they weren't clear on that. The fraternity members were sent on missions worldwide after taking an oath to be healers who never requested payment for services, wore no uniform or habit, and met once a year at the Spiritus Sanctus. Each member was to look for their successor. Also, they vowed that nobody talk about the Rosy Cross for 100 years. The discovery of CRC's tomb, complete with a perfectly preserved corpse, heralded the need to publish the manifesto. CRC's tomb is overly described, including that it had 7 sides divided into 3 parts and how it was filled with treasures like bells, lamps, and artificial songs. I'm not sure what artificial songs are. They remind me of fake books, but I don't think that's what they meant. So the book suggests that the fraternity is seeking like-minded individuals to join. Nobody claims authorship to this pamphlet. In 1616, another one comes out. This is the Confessio Fraternitatis, the Confession of the Brotherhood, or the Confession of the Laudable Fraternity of the Most Honorable Order of the Rosy Cross. That came out to clear up the confusion the first one caused, and it emphasized that the order is Christian and that the members who joined would learn valuable secrets. It also foretold a reformation to bring the land to an enlightened state. It furthered the public's interest in the secret society and inspired numerous printed responses, some who took the manifestos literally and others who understood them to be allegorical. In 1616, I think I have my years wrong. This may be 1624. I'm not sure. Take one of the two. 1600s, y'all. All right, so
early 1600s.
Early 1600s. A third pamphlet was published, and this was The Chemical Wedding of Christian Rosenkreuz, sometimes spelled many different ways, but really means rose cross, right? And so this is where we first get really the Rosicrucian comes from Rosenkreuz, or from this guy, and that's what the CRC supposedly stood for. But the chemical wedding, that wedding is a metaphor for alchemy, which is a metaphor for spiritual enlightenment. So just to be extra annoying, it's not even Christian Rosicrucianism's wedding. He's just a guest. It's a king and a queen in a castle with a cool vault, and they're the ones who are getting married. And the purpose of this book may have been to show that the other two manifestos were just metaphors, and there was never really a secret brotherhood. But some people took it literally, and nobody still claimed authorship of it. Most likely the author or authors were Lutheran ministers, and it may have been written as a parody or as a joke, but it's something that was, took off. But the time that it's written is during the Reformation, during the Lutheran Reformation. So it makes sense that this would be an allegory for, because really the idea behind both of them is like about this guy who's trying to find his inner light, right? And so these documents would come together to be basis for many Rosicrucian organizations, though the original one probably never really existed, right? That was just a metaphor. So the manifestos would make their way over to England, where they would be absorbed by those who were practicing Freemasonry, which was becoming popular at the time. According to Alison Butler, author of Victorian Occultism and the Making of Modern Magic, Elias Ashmole, sorry, I have to say it that way. His name was Ashmole. So Elias Ashmole, who had one of the earliest known Masonic initiations in 1646, was known to have copied out the manifestos in a letter requesting to join the Rosicrucian fraternity. I don't know who he sent it to, but he did was like, I'm going to copy these and hopefully get joined into, right? All right. So in the 1750s, the Freemason and alchemist Hermann Fichtold founded the Order of the Golden and Rosy Cross, Orden des Gold und Rosenkreuz. And candidates, though, for that one were expected to be master masons in good standing with their lodge. So you had to be a mason to join this, which also means you could only be a dude, because chicks can't be masons, because whatever. So alchemy was to be a central study for members who wanted to be a member of this. And it's all about finding that inner light. The order developed elaborate rituals and established a grade system for its members. This will be important for Golden Dawn later. So the higher the grade, the more senior and more adept in the order you were. And their first grade was junioress, and the highest grade, grade 9, was a magus. And that's something that we'll hear over and over again, and we have it in this show too, right? So that's just a popular name for a master. So in 1858, the fraternus Rosicrucius was founded by sex magician Pascal Beverly Randolph in America after he was supposedly initiated into a German Rosicrucian fraternity. They claim the founding fathers as members, including Ben Franklin and Thomas Paine, and say that the first American council was in 1772. They believe that a soul can form a direct link between the individual and God, and they call this state of spiritual development soul consciousness or soul illumination. And illumination of the soul is symbolized by the fully bloomed rose in the center of the cross of transmutation, aka the Rosy Cross. Yeah, in 1865, this is going to be an important one for the Golden Dawn. The Societas Rosicruciana was founded by the Freemason Robert Whitworth Little, who said he took the grade structure from members from the old rites from the Order of the Rosy Cross he discovered in the storerooms of Freemasons Hall. So they are open to only Master Masons of a Grand Lodge, also excluding women, and they had to declare a belief in the fundamental Trinitarian Christian faith. They first met quarterly, where they would dress up, have rituals, and do lectures on esoteric topics. Now, they're divided into 3 orders, and the first order meets in a college. A college can confer the first 4 degrees of the society, which are known as grades. And you have to do each grade for a minimum of 6 months before you can move on. And the emphasis in the work is learning. So every member is encouraged to deliver a paper of their own work on some topic of interest in open college. So nerds. These are a bunch of nerds that are meeting together to talk about nerdy stuff. Now, their grades, their grades to me, the first one's a zealot. They sound like dinosaurs. So grade 1 is a zealoter. Grade 2 is a theoricus. Grade 3 is a practicus. And grade 4 is a philosophus. And they do, right? All right. So they have a first order, they have a second order, and that's like another grouping of it. That's a provincial level. And so they're headed by a chief adept. and they hold the jurisdiction over those first colleges. He can confer the first 3 degrees like below them, right? So you have to the higher people up, below, you know how it goes. And once you get to that level, you have to wait 1 year between moving up. So they're trying to slow people down from moving up too fast, right? So it's 6 months, 6 months, and 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. Then you can finally become I forget how many years it takes, but then you become a supreme magus, and that's grade 9.
Got it.
I thought maybe their outfits would be interesting, but no. The first order wear a jewel medal hanging on a green ribbon, and the ribbon changes to yellow for fratres within the second order. When they become a celebrant, they wear a red robe, and then you continue to wear a red robe. It's not that, you know. Lodges now exist in England, Scotland, Canada, France, Portugal, Romania, Ireland, United States. They're still taking members, but you still have to be a member of you have to be a master mason and believe in the stuff. You have to read a book called Rosicrucian Masonic Spirituality, Order of the Rosy Cross Temple and the Loge des Parfaits de Cose. My God, that title is still going. It's still going. Okay, 1764, America's Secret Rose Croix Lodge and Their Spiritual Metaphysics by Magnus Incognito. Jesus Christ. I think they talk about him in there too. So it's available through lulu.com for only $14.13. There is also the Societas Rosicrucian in America, the SRIA, and they take both men and women, and you don't have to belong to anything else. There is also the Amorc. Now, this is the largest Rosicrucian order currently in existence. Amorc stands for Ancient and Mystical Order of the Rosicrucians. They are a worldwide order of mystics. They say that the Rosicrucian path incorporates both metaphysics and mysticism. Metaphysics is that which falls beyond the 5 physical senses. For example, intuition, visualization, and healing techniques. Mysticism is simply the process by which you may eventually experience direct conscious union with the absolute divine mind, universal intelligence, or what some Rosicrucian students call the God of their hearts. So to join this one, you don't have to believe in a God. You just have to kind of believe in like an inner thing. And you also need to buy their stuff. So a mork is $150 paid annually or $15 paid monthly. And that includes 4 new monographs each month, as well as participation in many Rosicrucian activities. They have enough funds that in 1990, the head of the order, the Imperator, Gary Stewart, was accused of embezzling $3.5 million from the Amorc bank account. And then he left and formed his own order. Good on you, Gary. That's a way to start a cult. You know, I'm always like, all right. I appreciate the fact that you didn't go to prison, you just started another order. So at least I found some scandal.
There you go.
So that
the word Rosicrucian makes me want shellfish.
Kinda.
I think of crustaceans for some reason.
I can see that.
That's where my brain goes.
Yeah. So
no offense to the Rosicrucians, sorry.
You never know if you may meet one. There's a lot of them. And I mean, they just seem like they're interested in they seem fine. They're
Masons, it's fine.
No, the last ones don't have to be the last one. You can join a Mork and not be a Mason, and you can join the American Society Rosicruciana and not be a Mason.
Okay,
and we can join those. We can't join the other ones.
Right. So they may or may not be a Mason.
Yeah. So if they would ever let women in, I'm a legacy Mason, but I mean, I don't want to join your club. You don't take me. Meh. Okay, so back to our other club of men, our British men of letters, and Mary is pissed off at them. So mad.
Yeah. She's mad. She's like, you sent me after a demon prince of hell. Like, what the fuck? And he's like, we didn't know. You know, we just knew that he had the item. And she's like, that's not good enough. I lost a friend and I almost lost one of my boys. Interesting way she phrased that. And he's like, look, I'm apologizing. And she's like, no, if you do anything like that again, I'm going to burn you down. I'm going to burn down all of you. So, and he's like, is that a threat? And she's like, no, it's a promise. Because of course, ooh, burn. He's like, look, we made a mistake. I'm sorry, but give me that item. And so she gives it to him. What the fuck what did Mary steal?
And he hands it over and he says, "Hello, beautiful," which are the first words that Dean said when he first saw the motherfucking Colt.
That gun, it's back.
It's back. But the thing is, like, so Mary knows it because her dad because Samuel used to tell her stories about it. So she doesn't even know, like, and maybe she has through John's diary. Like, so the John's diary has got to talk about something of the cult, but she doesn't know about Dean and Sam's relationship with it.
No.
But I don't, like, what does she know about the cult? But so I don't know. So my brain kind of breaks on that one because they had to have caught her up on some of it, but Ketch knows all about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's just real happy with his precious. Blah. Anyways, so we cut to Crowley's lair. And he is on the phone talking to a demon saying, search the house again, find that gun. So he's got demons trying to find where the cult is, and pours himself a drink. And we realize that in the cage in the office where Lucifer had kept Crowley, Lucifer is now in there. We found Lucifer.
We found Lucifer, and
he's singing about the cult, and he refers to Sam and Dean as the Dukes of Haphazard, which I was amused by. But and he's also like, do you even think they care about you? They'll kill your kind, and it's only a matter of time before they come for you. And Crowley just tells him to shut up and
calls him dog. And he's like, "That's not my name."
Eyes flash red.
Call me Stacy. But yeah, and his eyes glow red. And so we got a lot of glowing eyes in this. But Crowley, what you doing? That's not smart. It never ends well for you, sir. But all right. Do we have demons to talk about?
Yeah, we got a couple real fast. So we've got Ramiel, who's played by Jerry Trimble. He's actually did stunt work in the movie War of the Worlds and Season of the Witch, but has been in episodes of shows like Unsolved Mysteries, The Flash, iZombie, Travelers, and Kung Fu. He was the Knox Thug in Charlie's Angels in 2000. He was a gang member in Green Street Hooligans 2. He was a gang member again in The Green Hornet. He was Mark as a recurring character in the series Chesapeake Shores, and he played a character named Schwartz in the film, 1995 film Heat. Ronnie is our demon that we see with Crowley, the woman with the long dark hair. Is played by Jennifer Chion Garcia. She's been in episodes of Fringe, Arrow, Once Upon a Time, Travelers, Lucifer, Bates Motel, and Batwoman. She was the lynch woman in the A-Team in 2010. She was a character named Andromeda in this series. Minority Report is a recurring character. She was the central tower tech in the film Star Trek Beyond, the newer one. And then she was Ivory in Van Helsing, was a regular character on that. Leanne in the series Wheel of Time as a regular character. Yeah. And they didn't really give us her name in the show, but the character's name was technically Ronnie.
Huh.
There you go. So,
well, she should have had a name. I mean, she almost became Princess of Hell,
right?
Or I guess Queen of Hell. I mean, just by being there, that would have been awesome.
Right time.
Right time. Yeah, this takes the storyline takes a whole different curve when what happens with this is when Ronnie became Queen of Hell,
right?
I'm going to vote for Queen Ronnie.
Queen Ronnie.
So what do you think?
So I thought it was hard to watch and take notes for, but it was enjoyable to watch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's hard to go back and re-explain, but I thought it was enjoyable once you got your head wrapped around what was happening. But also, I don't like Mary right now.
She's not being a good person.
No. And I just don't like her right now, and I'm sad about Wally. I was starting to like him.
Yeah, I'm always sad when like people die from the Winchester curse. It's like,
It's not
man,
fair,
let's let them live. Come on, let the
right?
hunter live. Let the hunter live. Let the
Yeah.
hunter live.
Let
So
the
that's
hunter live.
my
Yeah.
protest sign.
There you go. I just did like Mary is very frustrating as a character right now. That's what I got.
She's frustrating. It's so hard to talk about this without spoiling. I don't know. So yes, she's frustrating. I
But there's
feel
just
like Sam and
continuity there.
Dean had an were are ignoring some things on purpose. Like so I feel like that's just because they're like such a backseat character in this episode.
Yeah. They're just along for the ride this time. They're not really even like the mains. It's
Hmm.
her and honestly, Cass kind of are bigger characters, and then Crowley and of course Ramiel. That's the main people here.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, just kind of like their take on and their interaction with her too, right? Like, so we're meeting back up with Mary and we're teaming up, but they're still not being very
communicative?
parental and like they're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not very familial. How's that? Not
Not at all.
familial?
Not at all.
They're being very
I would agree.
businessy.
Yeah, I would agree. So that's weird. Weird.
Yeah, but we are 12-12, so we're like halfway through the season.
Yeehaw.
All
Ah,
right.
yeah.
Anything else?
No,
All
that's all
right.
I got.
Cheers. All right. Cheers, jerk.
Cheers, bitch.